The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stretched wide like an open sky. Hundreds of seats curved around the central platform, each one filled with a different species. Some had scales. Some had fur. Some glowed with their own light. Ambassador Talon stood at the platform, his reptilian eyes cold and sharp. He looked at the hologram floating above him. A blue and green planet turned slowly in the light. Earth, Talon said. His voice echoed through the chamber. A primitive world, rich in water, rich in minerals, and completely defenseless. The council members leaned forward. Some whispered to each other. Others watched in silence. Talon touched a control and the image changed. Now they saw cities with tall buildings, roads filled with vehicles, light spreading across the dark side of the planet. They have radio signals, Talon continued. Simple satellites. Chemical rockets that can barely reach their moon. They are in their early space age. They know nothing of us. They have no shields, no energy weapons, no faster-than-light travel. He paused and smiled. They are children playing with toys. Counselor Mirax shifted in her seat. Her insect-like body clicked softly. Ambassador Talon, she said, her voice careful and measured. We should study them more. Our scans show many satellites, more than we would expect for such a young civilization. Why do they need so many? Talon waved a clawed hand. Communication, weather monitoring. Perhaps they watch their own planet. It means nothing. They are primitives, and yet, Mirax pressed, they have not responded to our scout ships. Most young species panic when they detect us. They send signals. They try to communicate, but Earth remains silent. Why? Because they did not detect us, Talon said firmly. Our stealth systems are perfect. They see nothing. High Arbiter Kulon watched from his seat at the highest point of the chamber. His body was made of pure energy, shifting between colors like water catching sunlight. He had lived for 3,000 years. He had seen empires rise and crumble to dust. Something about this situation troubled him, but he could not name what it was. What do you propose, Ambassador? Kulon asked. His voice was soft but carried to every corner of the chamber. Talon straightened. We send a fleet. Not a large one. 12 ships will be enough. We arrive, we show them our power. We give them a choice. Join the council as a servant species or face destruction. They will surrender. They always do. How many times have you done this? Asked another council member. 23 worlds, Talon said with pride. All now serve the Vixari Empire. All now pay tribute. Earth will be the 24th. Mirax stood. I vote against this action. We should send diplomats first, scientists. We should learn more before we threaten them. Waste of time, Talon snapped. They have nothing to teach us. They have nothing we need except their world and its resources. The council debated for hours. Some agreed with Talon. Some agreed with Mirax. High Arbiter Kulon listened to all of them. Finally, he raised one glowing hand. The chamber fell silent. We will vote, Kulon said. Those in favor of Ambassador Talon's proposal signal now. Lights appeared around the chamber. More than half. Talon's faction had won. The motion passes, Kulon said quietly. Ambassador Talon, you may assemble your fleet. You will go to Earth. You will offer them terms, but you will not attack unless they refuse. Is this clear? Talon bowed his head. Perfectly clear, High Arbiter. We will arrive in 6 months. By then, Earth will be ours. The council session ended. The members filed out slowly, talking among themselves. Kulon remained in his seat, staring at the hologram of Earth. The planet looked peaceful, beautiful, harmless. So why did he feel such unease? Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility that appeared on no maps, alarms began to sound. Red lights flashed along empty corridors. Computer screens filled with data. Commander Doyen sat at his station and watched the numbers scroll past. He was 45 years old. His hair was starting to gray. He had worked in this facility for 20 years. His entire adult life had been spent waiting for this moment. Commander, said the young officer at the next station. Her voice shook slightly. The deep space array detected movement. 3 scout ships. They passed through the outer system 2 days ago. They scanned us and left. Confirmed? Doyen asked. His voice was calm. Confirmed. The signature matches nothing in our database. They use stealth systems. Very advanced. If we had not been specifically watching for exactly this kind of signal, we would have missed them completely. Doyen nodded slowly. For 70 years, Earth had been watching the stars. For 70 years, they had prepared for the day when someone found them. Scientists had asked the question long ago, where is everyone? Why is the galaxy so quiet? And they had come to a dark conclusion. Maybe the galaxy was not empty. Maybe it was dangerous. Maybe civilizations that made too much noise did not survive long. So Earth had gone quiet. They still launched satellites, still sent out their radio and television signals. But they also built other things. Secret things. Things hidden in deep space and under mountains and in the asteroid belt. Doyen reached for the red phone on his desk. It connected to only one place. He picked it up and waited. It rang twice, yes? Said the voice on the other end. This is Commander Doyen at Deep Space Command, he said. I need to speak with the President. We have first contact. Unknown vessels scanned our system. Based on their trajectory and speed, they will likely return with a larger force. There was a pause. Please hold, Doyen waited. Around him, the facility came to life. More officers arrived at their stations. Screens showed different views. The moon, Mars, the asteroid belt, Jupiter, all the places where Earth had built its hidden defenses. Commander Doyen. The President's voice was clear and steady. Give me your assessment. 3 scout ships surveyed us 2 days ago. They were stealthy but not invisible. We tracked them the entire time. They scanned our civilization level, our technology, our defenses. They saw what we wanted them to see. Cities, satellites, radio signals. Nothing threatening. Did they detect our actual defenses? No, sir. All hidden systems remained undetected. As far as they know, we are exactly what we appear to be. A young civilization with primitive technology. Good. What happens now? Based on historical patterns from our theoretical models, they will debate what to do with us. Then they will send a larger force, not big enough to conquer us completely, but big enough to intimidate us. They will demand our surrender. How long do we have? 4 to 6 months, depending on their faster-than-light travel speed. The President was quiet for a moment. Doyen could hear papers rustling. Very well. Initiate protocol, Sentinel. Bring all defense systems to active standby. Wake the fleet. Prepare for contact. But remember, Commander, we do not fire first. We give them every chance to leave in peace. Understood, sir. And, Commander, we have waited a long time for this. Make sure we are ready. We will be, sir. We have always been ready. The line went dead. Doyen placed the phone back on its cradle. He looked at the officers around him. They were young. Most had been born after the decision to go quiet. They had trained their entire lives for a war that might never come. But now it was coming. Initiate protocol, Sentinel, Doyen said calmly. Contact all stations. Moonbase, Mars Outpost, Belt Command. Tell them the wait is over. We have been found. The officers moved quickly. Messages went out across the solar system. Hidden bases received the signal. Weapon systems began their power-up sequences. Ships that had waited in darkness for decades started their engines. Doyen pulled up a star chart on his main screen. Somewhere out there, aliens were preparing to come to Earth. They thought they would find a weak and frightened species. They thought they would find an easy victory. They were wrong. Earth had been quiet for 70 years. Not because they were weak. Not because they were afraid. But because they were smart. They had watched. They had learned. They had prepared. And now, finally, they would show the galaxy why silence could be the most dangerous thing of all. The elevator descended for 5 minutes. Commander Doyen stood with his hands behind his back, watching the numbers count down. Beside him, a young recruit named Bora shifted nervously from foot to foot. She was 22 years old, fresh out of training. This was her first day at Deep Space Command. How deep does it go? Bora asked. 3 miles, Doyen said. Carved directly into the mountain, the rock shields us from any scan. Satellites, radiation detectors, seismic sensors. Even if someone stood directly above us, they would see nothing. The elevator stopped. The doors opened. Bora's eyes went wide. The facility stretched out like an underground city. Corridors branched in every direction. Thousands of people moved with purpose. Screens covered entire walls, showing data from across the solar system. The hum of machinery filled the air. Welcome to Deep Space Command, Doyen said. One of 12 such facilities around the world. Come, I will show you what we have been building. They walked through the corridors. Doyen pointed out different sections. The communications hub, the tactical planning center, The living quarters where thousands of personnel spent their entire careers. Everything was clean and efficient. Everything had a purpose. "How long has this been here?" Bora asked. "Construction began 50 years ago. We dug in secret, moved the rock out slowly, made it look like mining operations. By the time we finished, we had the most advanced military command center ever built." They entered a large chamber. Bora stopped and stared. Rows of weapons lined the walls. Not guns, not missiles. Something else entirely. Large tubes connected to power generators. Crystal arrays that glowed faintly. Devices that looked like they belonged in science fiction. Dr. Hana stood at a control panel, running tests. She was 38 years old with sharp eyes and quick hands. When she saw Doyun, she smiled. "Commander," she said. "Perfect timing. I was about to run a full diagnostic on the railgun array." "This is Bora," Doyun said. "New recruit. Show her what we have." Hana gestured to the weapons. Railguns. They use magnetic fields to accelerate projectiles. These particular models can fire tungsten rods at 30 kilometers per second. That is fast enough to punch through any known armor. We have 24 of them positioned around the planet. Each one can hit a target in high orbit with perfect accuracy. And these? Bora pointed to the crystal arrays. Laser weapons, military grade. They focus light into a beam so powerful it can burn through starship hulls. We have stations on the moon, stations on Mars, even some in the asteroid belt, all hidden, all waiting. Bora looked overwhelmed. "I thought we were supposed to be a young civilization. Primitive. How do we have all this?" Doyen smiled slightly. "Because we prepared. 70 years ago, our scientists realized the galaxy might not be friendly, so we made a decision. We would appear weak while we became strong. We would stay quiet while we learned. We sent out our radio signals and our television broadcasts. We made ourselves look harmless. But in secret, we built weapons. We built defenses. We studied every possible threat and created counters for all of them." "But how?" Bora asked. "How did we advance so fast?" Hana answered. "By focusing. Every major nation on Earth contributed. Scientists, engineers, mathematicians. We shared all our research. No secrets between us. Everything went toward one goal: protecting Earth." They moved to another section. A massive screen showed the space around Earth. Thousands of small dots orbited the planet. "Satellites," Hana explained. The Council saw them during their scan. They probably thought most were for communication or weather. They were wrong. More than half are weapons platforms, disguised as old equipment, disguised as space junk. They have been dormant for years, solar panels folded, systems on minimal power. But now they are waking up. She touched a control. The dots on the screen changed color. Green. One by one. Hundreds of them. "Active and ready," Hana said quietly. "When the Council fleet arrives, they will find themselves surrounded by weapons they did not know existed." Doyen led Bora deeper into the facility. They took another elevator. This one went down even further. When they emerged, they were in a command center. General Yejin stood at the main console reviewing tactical data. Yejin was 52 years old. Gray hair pulled back in a tight bun. She had spent 30 years in the military before joining Deep Space Command. She looked up when they entered. "Commander," she said, "the fleet is responding. All ships report ready status." "Fleet?" Bora asked. Yejin smiled. "The Council thinks Earth has no military spacecraft. They are wrong." She pulled up a new display. It showed the asteroid belt. Hidden among the rocks were 20 ships. Each one was sleek and deadly. "We built them in space," Yejin explained. "Used materials from the asteroids. Assembled them slowly over decades. They have never touched Earth's surface. Never appeared on any registry. As far as anyone knows, they do not exist." "What are they armed with?" Bora asked. "Everything we could think of. Railguns, laser arrays, nuclear-pumped plasma missiles. Each ship can operate independently or as part of a coordinated strike. We have run simulations for decades. We know exactly how to fight. A young man approached, Agent Minho. He was 31 years old with tired eyes and quick fingers. He worked in intelligence. His job was to monitor alien communications. "General," Minho said, "we intercepted another transmission from the Council. They are assembling their fleet, 12 warships. They will arrive in approximately 4 months. Size comparison?" Yejin asked. "Each of their ships is 3 times larger than ours. Heavily armored, energy shields, plasma weapons. They are designed to intimidate." "But," Doyen prompted. Minho grinned. "But size is not everything. Their ships are old designs, built for conventional warfare. They expect to face primitive defenses, slow projectiles, chemical explosives. They are not ready for what we have." Yejin nodded. "Our weapons are faster, our targeting is more precise, our ships are smaller but more maneuverable, and most importantly we have something they do not." "What is that?" Bora asked. "Surprise," Doyen said. "They think they know what they are facing. They have no idea." Minho pulled up another screen. It showed a translation of alien messages. Bora read them slowly. Her expression changed from curiosity to anger. The messages were arrogant. The aliens discussed Earth like it was property. They argued about which species would get which resources. They made jokes about primitive humans. They seemed certain of victory. "They think we are nothing," Bora said quietly. "Yes," Doyen said. "And that is exactly what we want them to think, until the moment we prove them wrong." They returned to the main command center. Doyen stood at the central console and addressed his team. Officers from every department gathered around. "You have all spent your careers preparing for this," Doyen said. "Some of you were born into this program. Some of you chose it. All of you have sacrificed normal lives. You have worked in secret, told no one what you do, watched as the rest of humanity lived in ignorance of the danger above them." He paused. The room was absolutely silent. "In 4 months, the Council fleet will arrive. They will demand our surrender. They will threaten us. They will expect us to bow down in fear." Doyen looked around at each face. "We will not fire the first shot. We will give them every chance to leave peacefully. But if they attack, we will show them what humanity truly is. We will show them that Earth is not defenseless, that we are not children, that we have been waiting for them." The officers nodded. Some looked nervous. Some looked eager. All looked determined. "General Yejin will coordinate all military operations. Dr. Hana will oversee weapon systems. Agent Minho will continue monitoring enemy communications. All departments report status updates every 6 hours. We have 4 months to make final preparations. Use them well." The officers dispersed to their stations. Doyen walked to a window. It was artificial, a screen showing a live feed of the surface. Mountains, trees, blue sky. It looked peaceful. Most people up there had no idea what was coming. Dr. Hana joined him. "Do you think they will leave peacefully?" she asked. Doyen shook his head slowly. "No. They have conquered 23 worlds. They are used to winning. They will not believe we can stop them until we prove it. Then we will prove it," Hana said quietly. Doyen nodded. Above them, beyond miles of rock and steel, the sun was setting. In the darkness of space, Earth's hidden weapons waited. In the asteroid belt, the fleet powered up their systems. On the Moon and Mars, personnel checked their equipment one more time. Earth was ready. The trap was set. Now they just had to wait for the Council to walk into it. 4 months passed like a held breath. The Council fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. 12 massive warships, each one was 3 kilometers long. Their hulls were dark metal covered in weapons. Energy shields shimmered around them like heat waves. Fleet Commander Talon stood on the bridge of his flagship. He looked at the blue planet on his screen. So small, so vulnerable. He had done this 23 times before. It always ended the same way. "Open a channel," Talon ordered. "All frequencies." "Make sure they hear us," the communication officer nodded. A light flashed. The channel was open. "Humans of Earth," Talon said. His voice carried across space. "I am Fleet Commander Talon of the Galactic Council. We have observed your world. We know your capabilities. You are a primitive species with no hope of resisting us. We offer you a choice. Surrender now. Join the Council as a servant species. Or refuse, and we will destroy your cities one by one until you beg for mercy. You have one day to decide. He closed the channel and smiled. They always needed time to panic, time to realize how helpless they were. By tomorrow, they would be sending desperate pleas for mercy. But the response came in less than an hour. A single message. Audio only. The voice was calm and steady. Fleet Commander Talon. This is Commander Doyun of Earth Defense Command. We received your message. Here is our response. Leave our solar system immediately. You have entered our space without permission. You have threatened our world. We will defend ourselves if necessary. This is your only warning. Leave now. Talon stared at his screen. For a moment he could not speak. Then he laughed. Did they just threaten us? They actually threatened us? His officers joined in the laughter. The humans were insane. They had to be. No more warnings, Talon said. We go in, prepare for orbital bombardment. Target their largest cities. We will show them what happens to species that refuse the Council. The fleet moved forward, engines burning bright. They entered the asteroid belt, navigating between the rocks. Their shields could deflect any debris. Nothing could stop them. Then something changed on their sensors. New contacts, 20 of them, appearing from behind asteroids. The Council ships went to alert status. What are those? Talon demanded. Ships, sir. Human ships. They were hiding in the asteroid field. They just powered up their engines and weapons. How many? 20 contacts. Smaller than our vessels, but they are moving fast. Very fast. Talon felt something cold in his chest. Fear, but he pushed it down. Only 20 ships? Against our 12? They are still outnumbered. All vessels, open fire! Captain Jiho sat in the command chair of the Defiant Dawn. His ship was one of 20. They had waited in the darkness for months. Now it was time. All weapons ready, Lieutenant Sora reported from the tactical station. She was 29 years old with quick reflexes and a brilliant mind. Target locks acquired. Railguns charged. Laser arrays at full power. Wait for my command, Jiho said. He watched the alien ships on his display. They were moving into formation, preparing to fire. Let them commit. Let them think they have the advantage. The alien ships opened fire. Plasma bolts streaked through space, bright and deadly. But the human ships moved. They accelerated faster than the aliens expected. The plasma bolts missed. Now, Jiho said quietly, all ships. Fire at will. The human fleet opened fire. Railguns launched tungsten rods at incredible speeds. Laser beams cut through space. Nuclear-pumped plasma missiles accelerated toward their targets. The first alien ship took 3 railgun hits in rapid succession. Its shields flashed and failed. The tungsten rods punched through the hull. Secondary explosions rippled across the ship's surface. Target 1 shields down, Sora reported. Critical damage to their main reactor. They are losing power. Target 2, Jiho ordered. The human ships moved in perfect coordination. They had practiced this for decades. Every maneuver was precise. Every shot was calculated. The aliens were bigger. The aliens had more firepower. But the humans were faster, smarter, better prepared. On Talon's flagship, alarms screamed. Damage reports flooded in from across the fleet. 3 ships disabled. 2 more taking heavy damage.
How are they doing this?
Their weapons are too fast, an officer shouted. Our shields cannot track them. And their ships, they move like fighters, not capital ships. Talon watched his perfect fleet fall apart. 5 ships were already destroyed or crippled. The humans danced between his remaining vessels, striking and retreating. Every time his ships tried to focus fire, the humans scattered. Fall back, Talon ordered. The words tasted like poison. All ships retreat to the outer system. We need to regroup. But the humans did not let them go easily. They pursued, harassing, striking weak points. By the time the 7 remaining Council ships reached the edge of the solar system, another 2 were badly damaged. Jump to faster than light, Talon commanded. Now, the Council fleet vanished, jumping away, running back to their territory. On the Defiant Dawn, Jiho watched them go. He did not pursue. That was not the mission. The mission was to defend Earth, and they had succeeded. All ships report status, Jiho said. One by one, the other captains checked in. 15 ships reported minor damage. 3 reported moderate damage. 2 had taken serious hits but were still operational. Not a single ship was lost. Return to base, Jiho ordered. Well done, everyone. We proved something today. Earth is not helpless, and anyone who tries to take our world will pay the price. Deep in his command center, Commander Doyen watched the tactical display as the alien ships fled. Around him, his officers cheered. But Doyen remained quiet. Agent Minho approached. Sir, we are intercepting their communications. They are in a panic. They did not expect this at all. What are they saying? They are calling for reinforcements. The full council military. They want to send hundreds of ships. Doyen nodded slowly. He had expected this. How long until they arrive? Unknown. Could be months. Could be longer. They need to debate, to plan. They will not rush in again. Good, Doyen said. That gives us time. Time to prepare. Time to consider other options. Other options, sir? Doyen turned to face his team. We won this battle, but we cannot win a war against the entire council. We need to make them understand. We are not their enemies. We are not conquerors. We just want to be left alone. Maybe now they will listen. General Yejin joined them. We bloodied their nose, made them respect us. But you are right, Commander. We need to turn this victory into something more, something lasting. A peace, Doyen said quietly. If possible, on our terms. He looked back at the display. In the darkness of space, Earth shone blue and beautiful. They had protected it for now. But the real challenge was just beginning. The Galactic Council chamber was filled with noise. Hundreds of voices arguing at once. High Arbiter Kulon watched from his elevated seat, his energy form shifting through worried colors. He had never seen the council in such chaos. Ambassador Talon stood at the central platform. His scales were pale. His hands shook with rage and humiliation. 5 ships destroyed. 2 more crippled beyond repair. 700 crew dead. This is unacceptable. The humans must be punished. We must send the Grand Fleet. 500 ships. We will reduce their planet to ash. Counselor Mirax clicked her mandibles in disapproval. And what will that accomplish? More death? More destruction? Did you not hear the reports? The humans fought defensively. They warned us. They gave us a chance to leave. We attacked first. They refused our terms, Talon snapped. Your terms were slavery, Mirax shot back. You demanded they surrender their world. Their freedom. What species would accept such terms? Other council members joined the argument. Some supported Talon. Others supported Mirax. The chamber echoed with angry voices. High Arbiter Kulon raised one glowing hand. Slowly the noise faded. We must think carefully, Kulon said. His voice was soft, but it carried weight. Ambassador Talon, you said the humans were primitive, that they had no defenses. You were wrong. Badly wrong. Why? Talon looked down. They hid their capabilities. Our scans showed only basic technology. Chemical rockets. Radio signals. Simple satellites. We saw what they wanted us to see. Exactly, Kulon said. They deceived us. Which means they knew we were watching. They knew someone would find them eventually. So they prepared. For how long? A science officer stepped forward. Based on the technology we observed, at least 50 years. Possibly longer. They built an entire military infrastructure in secret. Hidden bases, a fleet, advanced weapons, all while appearing to be a young, harmless civilization. Kulon let that sink in. What does that tell us about these humans? Mirax spoke up. That they are patient, strategic, they think long-term. They do not act rashly. And dangerous, Talon added. Perhaps, Kulon said. But consider this. They destroyed 5 of our ships. They could have pursued. They could have finished off the wounded vessels. But they did not. They let you retreat. Why? The chamber fell silent. Because they do not want war, Mirax said quietly. They want to be left alone, Kulon nodded. I propose we send an ambassador. Not a fleet, 1 ship, 1 representative. We offer talks. We learn more about them, and we find a way to coexist. Talon objected immediately. They humiliated us. We cannot negotiate with them. We must show strength. We already showed strength, another council member said, and we lost. Perhaps it is time for wisdom instead. The debate continued for hours, but slowly opinion shifted. More and more council members agreed with Kulon. Finally, they voted. The ambassador mission was approved, but as a precaution, the Grand Fleet would be assembled, ready. just in case. On Earth, Commander Doyen received the message. The Council wanted to talk. They were sending a representative to the neutral station Theta Prime. Earth was invited to send their own ambassador. Doyen sat in a conference room with General Yejin, Dr. Hana, and Agent Minho. They reviewed the message together. Could be a trap, Yejin said. They might try to capture our ambassador. Possible, Minho agreed. But I have been monitoring their communications. The debate in the council was real. Many of them are genuinely afraid of us now. They want to understand what we are capable of. That gives us leverage, Hana said. We can negotiate from a position of strength. Who do we send? Doyen asked. They discussed several candidates. Finally, they agreed on Ambassador Jiwan. She was 47 years old. A career diplomat, she had negotiated treaties between nations on Earth. She was smart, calm, and fearless. When they offered her the position, Jiwan accepted immediately. What are my instructions? She asked. Doyen laid it out simply. Earth will not surrender. We will not join the Council as servants, but we are willing to coexist peacefully. We want to be recognized as an independent sovereign system. No Council ships in our space without permission. In return, we will open limited trade and cultural exchange. And if they refuse? Jiwan asked. Then we fight, Yejin said quietly. Until we win or until there is nothing left to defend. Jiwan nodded. Understood. I will do my best. 2 weeks later, Jiwan boarded a human ship, the Horizon. It was one of the newer designs, sleek, fast, heavily armed. 2 escort ships accompanied her. The Council needed to see that Earth could project power. The journey to Theta Prime took 10 days. When they arrived, the station was enormous. A massive structure in neutral space where hundreds of species met for trade and diplomacy. The human ships docked smoothly. Perfectly. The station controllers were impressed. Jiwan walked into the council chamber accompanied by 2 guards. The chamber fell silent as she entered. Hundreds of alien eyes watched her, some with curiosity, some with fear, some with anger. She walked to the central platform without hesitation. High Arbiter Kulon greeted her. Welcome, Ambassador Jiwan of Earth, Kulon said. You honor us with your presence. Thank you, High Arbiter, Jiwan replied. Her voice was clear and confident. I come seeking peace. But I also come with a clear message. Earth will defend itself always. Talon stepped forward. Your people destroyed our ships, killed our crew. Do you expect us to simply forget that? Jiwan turned to face him. Your fleet entered our system uninvited. You demanded our surrender. You threatened to destroy our cities. We defended ourselves. Nothing more. We gave you a warning. You ignored it. The consequences were your own choice. The chamber erupted in voices. Some agreed. Some argued. Jiwan waited for quiet. Earth did not seek this conflict, she continued. We were content to develop in peace, to remain hidden. But you found us. You made demands. You forced our hand. Now you know the truth. We are not primitive. We are not helpless. And we will never surrender our freedom. What do you want? Counselor Mirax asked. Recognition, Jiwan said. Earth as an independent sovereign system. No council presence in our space without permission. In return, we offer trade, cultural exchange, scientific cooperation. We can be partners, not enemies. And if we refuse? Talon challenged. If we send the Grand Fleet? Jiwan smiled coldly. Then you will lose more ships, more crew, and you will learn that Earth has more secrets than you can imagine. She transmitted data to the Council's displays. These are scans of our solar system. Not the ones you took, real ones, showing what we wanted hidden. The Council members stared at the data. Hidden bases on Mars, mining operations in the outer planets, weapon platforms around Jupiter, strange energy signatures near Neptune, things they could not identify. You see our fleet in the asteroid belt, Jiwan said. But that is only part of our defense. We have been preparing for 70 years. Everything you see here is what we chose to reveal. What else do we have? What other weapons? What other capabilities? You do not know. And if you are wise, you will never find out. The chamber was silent. Every council member understood the implication. Earth was showing strength, but also holding back. The unknown was more frightening than the known. High Arbiter Kulon floated forward. His energy form pulsed with colors that Jiwan could not read. You speak boldly, Ambassador, but I sense truth in your words. You do not want war. No one should want war, Jiwan replied. But we will fight if we must. We will defend our home, our people, our freedom. That is not a threat. That is a promise. Kulan was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke to the entire council. I have lived for 3,000 years. I have seen empires rise and fall. I have watched species destroy themselves through pride and arrogance. These humans remind me of something we have forgotten. That strength comes not just from weapons, but from will, from determination, from the refusal to be conquered. He turned back to Jiwan. We will consider your terms. The council will debate. But know this. You have earned respect today, not through conquest, but through courage. That is rare in the galaxy. Jiwan bowed her head. Thank you, High Arbiter. I await your decision. She left the chamber with her guards. Behind her, the council began to argue again. But this time the tone was different. This time they were actually listening. The negotiations took 3 months. Ambassador Jiwan remained at Theta Prime, meeting with council representatives almost every day. Some meetings were friendly, others were tense. But slowly, progress was made. Ambassador Talon continued to argue for military action, but his support dwindled. Too many council members had seen the data. Too many understood that fighting Earth would be costly, perhaps too costly. Counselor Mirax became Jiwan's closest ally. The two met privately several times. They discussed trade routes, cultural exchange programs, scientific cooperation. Mirax was genuinely curious about humanity. Your species is unique, Mirax said during one meeting. Most young civilizations are either too aggressive or too fearful. But humans are balanced, strategic. You prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. We had to be, Jiwan replied. Our history is full of wars, of nations destroying each other. We almost destroyed ourselves several times, but we learned, we grew. When we realized the galaxy might be dangerous, we chose wisdom over pride. And now you offer us something, Mirax said. Jiwan nodded. She had been waiting for the right moment. Now it had come. Dr. Hana sends her regards. She wanted me to share something with the council, something that might change your opinion of us. She transmitted a file. Mirax reviewed it. Her compound eyes widened. This is medical research, Mirax said slowly. Treatments for diseases, genetic therapies, neural regeneration techniques. Yes, Jiwan said. We developed them while preparing our defenses. We studied biology, genetics, medicine. These treatments can help many council species. Cancer, genetic disorders, neural degeneration, conditions that have plagued the galaxy for centuries. Why share this? Mirax asked. This technology is valuable. You could trade it for wealth, power. Because we believe knowledge should be shared, Jiwan said quietly. Because healing is more important than profit. Because we want to show the council who we truly are. Not warriors, not conquerors, but a species that values life. Mirax was silent for a long time. Then she clicked her mandibles softly. It was the sound of deep respect. I will present this to the council. This changes everything. The next council session was different. The medical data was shared with all members. Scientists reviewed it, verified it. The treatments were real. They worked. Species that had suffered for generations now had hope. High Arbiter Kulan floated to the center of the chamber. The humans have shown us two faces. The warrior who defends with deadly precision, and the healer who offers hope freely. Both are real. Both are part of who they are. He turned to face the entire council. I have lived 3,000 years. I have seen true civilization only a handful of times. It is not measured by weapons or technology. It is measured by wisdom and compassion. The humans possess both. They could have kept this knowledge secret. They could have used it for leverage. But they chose to share it, to heal instead of hurt. Even Talon was quiet. He looked at the data, looked at Jiwan. His expression was unreadable. We will vote, Kulan said, all in favor of recognizing Earth as an independent sovereign system. Signal now. Lights appeared around the chamber. More than 3/4. The motion passed overwhelmingly. It is decided, Kulan said. Earth is recognized as independent. No council ships will enter their system without permission. Trade and cultural exchange will begin immediately, and we extend an invitation, not to join as servants, but as equals. When Earth is ready, Jiwan stood and bowed. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, I accept these terms. We look forward to a peaceful future together. The news reached Earth within hours. Cities celebrated. People who had lived their entire lives in secret fear could finally breathe freely. The stars were no longer a threat. They were an opportunity. In Deep Space Command, Commander Doyen watched the celebrations on the screens. General Yejin stood beside him. "We did it," Yejin said quietly. "We protected Earth." "For now," Doyen replied. He looked at the defensive systems. "The weapons. The fleet. But we cannot let our guard down. Peace is good, but preparedness is what made peace possible. The defenses will remain," Yejin agreed. "Always. But perhaps now they can serve a different purpose. Exploration. Protection of trade routes. Scientific research." Doyen smiled slightly. "From weapons of war to tools of peace. That would be fitting." Dr. Hana entered the command center. She looked tired but happy. The first Council Science team arrived at the lunar facility. They want to collaborate on the medical research, share their own knowledge. This could revolutionize medicine for dozens of species. "Good," Doyen said. "That is what we hoped for. Understanding, cooperation, a future where we help each other instead of fighting." Agent Minho joined them. He was grinning. "You will not believe this. 3 council species have requested to establish embassies on Earth, and 5 human universities want to start exchange programs with alien institutions. It is happening fast." Yejin observed. "Good," Doyen said. "The more connections we build, the harder it will be for anyone to threaten us again. Trade, culture, science, friendship, these are stronger defenses than any weapon." Weeks turned into months. The first trade ships arrived at Earth, alien merchants offering goods from across the galaxy, human traders heading out to distant markets. The exchange was cautious at first, but trust grew. Ambassador Jiwan remained at Theta Prime as Earth's permanent representative. She walked the station freely now. Other ambassadors greeted her with respect, some with friendship. The humans had proven themselves, not through conquest, but through strength tempered by wisdom. One day, High Arbiter Kulan invited her to a private meeting. They met in his chambers, a space filled with soft light and gentle music. "You have done well, Ambassador," Kulan said. "Earth has become an example to the galaxy." "We simply stayed true to ourselves," Jiwan replied. "That is more difficult than you know," Kulan said. "Many species lose themselves when they reach the stars. They become conquerors or victims. But humans remain balanced. You fight when necessary. You heal when possible. You prepare for the worst but hope for the best." He paused. His energy form pulsed with warm colors. "I wondered why Earth seemed familiar to me. Now I know. You remind me of the ancients, the first species to achieve faster than light travel. They were wise, compassionate, strong. They helped younger species, guided them, protected them, but they are gone now, lost to time. What happened to them?" Jiwan asked. "No one knows," Kulan said quietly. "They simply vanished one day. But they left behind a legacy. The idea that civilization is not about power. It is about wisdom, about using strength to protect, not to conquer. I think they would be proud of humanity." Jiwan felt a chill. "You think we could be like them?" "Perhaps," Kulan said. "If you remain true to who you are, if you never forget the lessons that made you strong. Patience, preparation, and compassion." On Earth, in a small apartment in Seoul, a young girl named Nari looked through her telescope. She was 8 years old. She loved space, loved the stars. Tonight was special. Her father had told her that alien ships would be visible in orbit, trading vessels from across the galaxy. She adjusted her telescope and found them, lights moving slowly against the dark. "Daddy," she called. "I see them. I see the alien ships." Her father joined her at the window. He put his hand on her shoulder. "Beautiful, are they not?" "Yes," Nari breathed. "Daddy, when I grow up, can I go to the stars?" He smiled. "Yes, Nari, you can go anywhere you want. The galaxy is open to us now. We are part of something bigger, something wonderful. Will it always be peaceful?" she asked. Her father was quiet for a moment. "Nothing is certain, but we are prepared. We are strong, and we are wise. That is the best we can do." Nari nodded and went back to her telescope. She watched the ships move across the sky. They were not threats anymore. They were visitors, partners, friends. The age of hiding was over. The age of fear was over. Humanity had stepped into the light. Not as conquerors, not as victims, but as equals, as protectors of their own destiny. as a species that proved strength and wisdom could coexist. In Deep Space Command, Commander Doyun powered down his station for the first time in months. The weapon systems remained active. The fleet remained ready. But the war he had prepared for his entire life had never come. Peace had come instead. And that, he realized, was the greatest victory of all. He walked to the elevator, rode it up through 3 miles of rock, stepped out into the mountain air. Above him the stars shone bright and clear. Among them, human ships traveled to distant worlds. Human voices joined the chorus of the galaxy. Earth had been silent for so long. Now it sang, and the galaxy was listening.